Hi everyone, I'm Cheryl and welcome to the Sewing Room channel. And have I got a fun project for you? And it's this Scarecrow pillow. Now I made this out of fabric that used to be curtains in a house I lived in years ago. I never threw the fabric away. So for this project, it's totally a scrap buster. Or my husband even gave a suggestion, use an old pillowcase to make this. You can use your scraps for the face, old buttons. The buttons don't even have to match. You can do the mouth by hand or by your sewing machine. Use only old stuff. Don't go out and buy new stuff. You'll be surprised. The older and the rattier it looks, the cuter it's gonna look outside on your front porch, or you can even keep it inside. Okay, let's get started. You'll need just a little more than 15 inches. If you're going to go in and you need to buy fabric, just ask for a ½ yard. Keep it folded like it is off of the bolt with the selvage edges together. And then straighten these edges out. And like I said, I made mine 15 inches wide. You can make it any size you want. You don't have to make it just like mine. Then from the folded edge down, go 18 inches and cut the bottom edge off. Now leave it folded, and at the two lower corners you're going to cut a 2-inch square out. So just take a ruler, put the 2-inch lines on the bottom edge here and here, and then you can either draw around that and then cut it out, or if you have a little rotary cutter, you can just cut around that corner. And you're going to do it again on the two lower bottom corners. Now this is a set of pinking shears. You don't have to have these, but I like using these when I want my edges to look a little rough and scruffy. So I used my pinking shears to cut this top edge. You can just leave it straight, or if you want to make it look a little raggedy, you can maybe cut it a little uneven. Now you want to unfold it, and this is, you're going to pick a side to put your face on. Now use scraps. Just look around. Is there something you can cut up to get some scraps? Please don't make it match. This needs to look like maybe a 5-year-old made it. So for myself, this was great because sometimes I'm just in that 5-year-old mood. So you want to place them where, center it. So what helps to center is fold these two edges back so that you get a better idea of where the center is. Like this, fold them back. And then put the nose in. That's kind of your little center point here. And it can be crooked. It can be straight or crooked. And again, I used pinking shears around my pieces of fabric. You don't have to do that. You can just leave them straight edge. So cut them all a different shape, any shapes you want. There's no rules. You can either use fabric glue and glue them on if you want, or you can just stitch inside. You don't even need to use matching thread. Now I'm going to show you how I made my mouth. Cut a piece of paper that is 3 inches by 9 inches, and then fold it in half. Now from this upper corner right here, you can either draw or just take your rotary cutter and let it go. So you're going to go from this corner, you're going to do a curved edge down to this corner. Don't worry about how pretty it is. Remember, this is supposed to look like a 5-year-old made it. And then you just go down like that. And then unfold it. So take your template and you're going to place the curved edge, maybe 1.5 to 2 inches below the nose. So just place it down there and center it as best as possible. And then trace around it. Now if you don't want your mouth this wide, you can stop. You can go maybe only 2/3 of the way or halfway. It's whatever you want to do. Remember, it's your project. So just trace around that bottom edge. Then just put lines with your pencil, and you're just making light lines. You don't want to press too hard. And then do any kind of stitch you want. You can just do a straight stitch, or I did what we call satin stitches. And I did a medium width satin stitch along here, and then a narrow satin stitch over my lines. You could also do just this curved line with a great big zigzag stitch if you like. Let me show you some other samples of a mouth. So here is the one that I just demonstrated for you. But you can also do just straight lines like this, make them about a 1/2 inch long. Or I call it a dash line. Just do a dash line. Or do a giant zigzag stitch. Or a squiggly line like this. Now you can do it on your sewing machine, or if you want, you can take crochet yarn and stitch through your fabric, making these big stitches, even on this one. Now, I don't recommend markers and, permanent markers unless you're really good at drawing, because once you get it on there, you're stuck with whatever you do. At least with these stitching, especially the hand stitch, real easy to rip out. Now, if you are doing the mouth on your sewing machine, I recommend put some thin paper on the back side, because the fabric will bunch up if you're doing a satin stitch or a stitch where there's a lot of stitches real close together. So by putting paper on there, stabilizes it while you're doing your stitching. And then when you're done, you just tear it off. When you're done with the face, then just go ahead and fold it in half and bring your side edges together. So after you've pinned both of your edges, then go ahead and do a 1/4 inch wide seam all the way up from one end to the other on both sides. So on the 2 corners where you cut the square out, we're going to do a seam that's going to make the bottom look like a boxed bottom. So you're going to take those 2 corners there and pull them apart and bring them together this way. So take straight pins and then pin it across here to hold it together. So this is what it looks like on the bottom edge and the top side. Then stitch a 1/4 inch wide seam all the way across, and you do that at both corners. Now turn it front side out, and as you're turning it front side out, you want to push against those boxed bottom corners to get them to where they look a little squared. Now I'm using polyfill stuffing to put in mine. Let me give you a couple of other suggestions. If you think you're going to use this outdoors, you're going to keep it on your front porch, what I did to keep it weighted so that it's not going to fly down the street, because we have very strong winds here, I put a block of wood in there. My husband keeps scrap pieces of wood. I went out there, rummaged through it, and I found a piece to put at the very bottom. Then I began putting my polyfill stuffing in it. Or if you want to use up more of your scrap fabrics, because I know some of you say you've got a lot, you can fill this bag with your scrap fabrics. Now if you're going to use it indoor and you really want it to be a fluffy pillow, you could just use the polyfill stuffing. Now this is a large bag, so you're going to need a lot of polyfill. Now when you're getting ready to close up your top, you want to make sure you don't gather it in like this, because then it's going to distort the face. So we're going to just fold the sides in like this. So you push that side seam inward and grab some fabric from the front and the back and bring it in like that. And then you can use a clip to hold it together. And you would do this on both sides. Then what I did, I used hot glue to glue these two side folds together. Or you can just do a little tack stitch in place, and you would do the same thing on the other side. Fold it in, clip it, either stitch it closed or do a hot glue. So here's my finished one. So I've got the hot glue on each side. Then I took my raffia, and I got my raffia, I think I got it at Walmart. I think they sell it there. They'll sell it at a lot of craft supply stores. I didn't use the whole bag. I took it out of the bag, and it's usually kind of all wound up, and I fluffed it out. And my polyfill comes up to here. I put the raffia in there. Once I got the raffia the way I liked it, I took my hot glue gun, went down inside all the way around and put a blob of glue around there and just pressed it all in so that it doesn't come apart when especially if you're using it outside. Now you have an option of putting something else up here. I decided to make mine a female scarecrow, so I put some old leftover ribbon I had and put it up there. Or you can take some scrap fabric, cut a strip of fabric out, and you can use your pinking shears to rough up the edges and then tie your bow. And again, I hot glued it on, or you can stitch it on. One other thing that I did at the end was I hot glued my buttons on. Now you can stitch them on, but for me, sewing with my hands is really hard. And so I decided I would just use the hot glue gun. If you're going to have children make this, and if it's a small child, please don't let them handle the hot glue gun. It's a dangerous tool. You can give them some fabric glue to glue some of this stuff on. I'm sure it'll hold up. Now, one more suggestion. If it's going to be outside, and if you think you don't want it to get too dirty, you'd like to clean it up, you could spray some Scotch Guard on it so you can kind of wipe it off occasionally. My husband said he thinks he just wants it to look like it's been outside. So if it gets a little dusty, it doesn't bother him. Well, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and that you've learned something new and that you want to try making this. One other word of warning is if you're going to let a child make this, make sure you don't let them do the hot glue. You do that, or let them use some other type of glue that is more appropriate for a child to do. Now, if you're interested in other autumn or fall decor that I've done, check below your YouTube screen for video links on a variety of items. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram and check out my Facebook page. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and happy sewing. If you like the Sewing Room channel, one of the best ways to show your support is to subscribe by clicking on that red subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to click on share to share this video with your friends. And make sure you click on the bell so you receive notifications for all my new videos. I'm Cheryl, this is Manny, and this is Scotty. See you next time.